In Court on TKO8 Television is brought to you by Campbell Bonding Company.
Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
Court's going to start with calling Boone County case 2016-124, State of Arkansas versus Billy Joe Hunt, Jr. I believe we also have case 2005-88 involving the same defendant. In regard to both of these cases, the court will make the appointment of the Public Defender's Office to represent Mr. Hunt. In case 2016-124, Mr. Hunt is being arraigned on a charge of furnishing prohibited articles. On those charges, how does he now plead?
Waive formal reading of the charge, enter a plea of not guilty.
Mm-hmm. And in case 2005-88, Mr. Hunt is facing allegations that he has violated the terms and conditions of his probation. File contains a petition to revoke a suspended sentence, which was filed January 27th, 2011. And apparently it's been outstanding since that time. That was served on Mr. Hunt April 23rd.
I think this is going to be a stale warrant.
That one is.
Yeah, let's see. The allegations contained in that petition are that Mr. Hunt, back in May, June, October, and November of 2007, tested positive for marijuana while on probation. He failed to provide the office with proof that he was gainfully employed. He failed to keep the office informed of his current residence and phone number as required by law.
That's why this one has the
It was alleged that on that same time period, or actually in 2011, he was behind on
2011
supervision fees and reporting by over $575. He'd failed to report numerous times in 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, multiple times in 2010, and in the month of January of 2011 when this report was filed, when this petition was filed. It also alleges that he had failed, as ordered, to report to the substance abuse and life skills classes that he had been ordered to complete while on probation multiple times in 2007, and that there were numerous unpaid fines and costs. So all of those are the allegations contained in the original petition. I don't know whether probation's planning to update the petition based on the new charges, but I would. Okay.
Your Honor, as to the revocation, we'll enter a plea of not true. And Your Honor, based upon the court's recitation of the facts of the petition to revoke the suspended sentence, at this point in time, I'm going to ask the court to dismiss the new charge in its entirety as an operation and matter of law. I'd ask the court to take judicial notice of the affidavit that has been filed, that was filed in that new charge. That affidavit was done in March 16th of 2006, was signed by a magistrate that day, and based upon the court's recitation of the facts, where a probation and parole officer had multiple contact with my client throughout 2006 and 2007. Obviously, they knew his whereabouts. They didn't serve him the warrant. He wasn't brought for speedy trial within a year. And just based upon the facts that the state has filed in both these cases and the court has now recited, I think as a matter of law, the court has to dismiss the new case.
Well, it's not a speedy trial argument.
It's a stale warrant, Judge.
Well, court's going to concur. Court is going to dismiss the warrant as being a stale warrant, and that is the warrant on the 2016-124. The court doesn't understand why in 10 years that hadn't gotten served. In any case, Mr. Hunt I've entered the plea of not true on his 2005-88 petition to revoke, and the court will set that for, let's make sure.
Judge, if we could have a hearing on that in 2 weeks.
Just making sure I'm the one who took the plea. Did.
It looks like Mr. Hunt was absconded from probation and parole in 2011.
Right.
Your Honor, I'd ask the court to set a reasonable bond in this matter and set it for the court's next available court date for hearing.
Court is setting it for hearing on May 3rd. This is the revocation case.
Judge, the state would feel comfortable with a cash bond of $3,562.14.
This is being set for the revocation hearing on May 13th. All right. Well, the court has trouble the court's a little uncomfortable with the idea of setting the bond based solely on the money owed. That smacks of putting somebody in jail to collect money, which this court does not do. And on that basis, the court's going to, but I also have trouble with the fact that he apparently had been absconded for a lengthy period of time. I'll set bond at $10,000 cash or professional bond. It'll be conditioned upon him resuming contact promptly resuming contact with probation and parole.
Mr. Hunt, your bond is set at $10,000 cash professional surety. If you do make bond, you have to immediately go to probation and parole, and your next court date is going to be May 13th.
That's mine.
All right.
At 8:30.
That'll be the order of the court then.
Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
Here's another satisfied client from Dental Creations of Harrison.
My husband and I both went through this together. We both had teeth that was causing health problems. Doctor wanted to come and talk to us about what we wanted, what our options were. We've gotten our final dentures. They feel as natural as our other teeth ever did. The best part is being able to smile again and not thinking, okay, I've got to hide this side of my face because that tooth's missing.
Dental Creations on the square in Harrison, next to the Big Red Boot.
There are many ways to prepare for retirement, and how you plan for your retirement years takes solid planning. Community First Bank is here to help. With IRAs, CDs, money market accounts, and many other investment options, Community First Bank could hold the key to unlocking your financial future. Stop by and visit with one of our retirement specialists at one of our convenient locations and let us help you decide which option is best for you. Community First Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Brandon Ledford. Mr. Ledford, you're before the court, and the court is going to conduct a Rule 8.1 hearing in your matter. Rule 8.1 refers to Rule 8.1 of the Arkansas Rules of Criminal Procedure, which provides that an individual who is incarcerated prior to filing of formal charges against them is entitled to a prompt appearance before a judge or a magistrate to be advised of the basis that they're being held on and any arrangements for bond as well as certain constitutional rights. So at this time, the court is advising you. Just a second. Before I go forward, Mr. Carter, what's the status of the charges in this matter?
Judge, they have been filed. He was arrested, but some medical issues arose, and he was released on December 6th to return on December 7th. I don't know whether or not he returned or not. He is currently in the Department of Corrections on Washington County charges. And so the warrant that we have outstanding for him has already been read to him. It'll be returned to the clerk's office and a file set up. But because he was arrested on December 5th of 2015, I would like a scheduling order at this time.
Well, there's not even a file set up at this point.
I understand there's no file, but the charges have been filed, and I assume that this warrant has now been read to him.
I don't know that that's the case. I completely don't understand what was the procedure that was followed earlier in December?
He was arrested in December on probable cause. Some medical issues apparently arose, and so on December 6th he was released from jail with a notation that he signed agreeing to return on December 7th.
Well, from checking with the clerk, apparently that documentation that he signed out is there in the clerk's office, but they don't have an information or any document of that nature.
Your Honor, I don't even return.
Pardon me, Mr. Bryant?
I don't recall ever signing anything to return. I'm not sure exactly what charge this is for. I was released and spent a week in Rivendell and was released from there. I did 7 days there in Denton. And then I've been incarcerated in Washington County since mid-December. I'm serving at Grounds Unit Newport right now.
You're doing what? You're serving what at Newport?
Grounds Unit.
At Grimes Unit.
Oh, nice. Is that what is the basis of your serving at that unit?
It was a charge out of Madison County, which Washington County holds for Madison County.
And a judge has sentenced you to that unit?
Yes, sir. Yes, they came and got me yesterday from Newport.
Okay.
Sir, I have a,
well,
15-year sentence with 9 suspensions.
Well, court could advise you that Mr. Carter, the prosecutor, has provided the court with a copy that doesn't show it's been filed of the information that was filed back on or around December 6th of 2015 of formal charges of possession of drug paraphernalia and resisting arrest were filed alleging activity, some activity you had conducted on December 6th of 2015. Also, the court understands beyond the processes of these new felony charges, the court would advise you that you also have a failure to appear charge out of Boone County District Court.
Yes, sir. I was incarcerated, sir.
Well, what I'm telling you, the failure to appear out of Boone County District Court has a court date on it of June 16th, 2016, and a bond has been set in that case of $5,335 by the district court judge. $5,335, cash only. If I understand, the warrant is there, based on an affidavit. This warrant apparently has not been served on you, and on that basis, the file has not been set up. But there has been a warrant, the one that Mr. Carter was referring to, filed in regard to you in Boone County. Mr. Carter, was the arrangements made to transport him back from the Newport unit? Did that include an order? And if so, for what period of time does it cover?
7 days.
So, all right. Well, in any case, at this point, Mr. Ledford, I'm advising you that you have the charges I've mentioned to you. That is, in circuit court, there is information that's been filed charging you with possession of drug paraphernalia and resisting arrest. The recommended bond, if and when that's served on you, in that case is $5,000. Separate and apart from that, there is a warrant for failure to appear issued out of district court that covers charges from both the Boone County Sheriff's Office and the Harrison Police Department for failure to appear in violation of a protective order, possession of drug paraphernalia, refusal to submit to a test, DWI drugs, and improper backing. And as I said, the bond in that case, the combined bond in that case is $5,335. Now, pursuant to the requirements of Rule 8.1, the court is to advise you that you have a right to an attorney. I think you've been in court enough in the past to understand that you have the absolute right to an attorney. What that means is you have the right to hire the attorney of your choice, and if you employ private counsel, then the court doesn't get involved in that. However, if you choose to, if you find that you cannot afford to hire an attorney, then you're still entitled to an attorney, and the court would advise you that you're entitled to appointed counsel. And the way you secure appointed counsel is you fill out an application based on application for the Public Defender's Office, and an attorney will be appointed for you. You understand these rights?
Yes, sir.
You also have the right, while you're incarcerated, to remain silent and not make any statements about the allegations against you. You exercise that right by simply declining to answer any questions if a law enforcement officer seeks to interview you. Do you understand this right?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
All right. Well, based on that, the court the court is advising you that your next court date in district court is set for June 16th, 2016. Should you be otherwise released, you're under an obligation to appear in district court on that date. Obviously, if you're still incarcerated at the Newport unit, then it'll be the obligation of the court system to make arrangements to secure your attendance at court. If and when this pending case in circuit court, the warrant gets issued, and then arrangements will have to be made to secure your presence and get you before this court for arraignment on those charges. So,
Yes, sir.
on that basis, if you have no further questions, this completes the 8.1 hearing the court is conducting. You may be excused at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
There are many ways to prepare for retirement, and how you plan for your retirement years takes solid planning. Community First Bank is here to help. With IRAs, CDs, money market accounts, and many other investment options, Community First Bank could hold the key to unlocking your financial future. Stop by and visit with one of our retirement specialists at one of our convenient locations, and let us help you decide which option is best for you. Community First Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Here's another satisfied client from Dental Creations of Harrison.
That several people complain about after a year it doesn't fit, it doesn't feel right. And it's because your mouth changes. And they offer the final set of dentures. And it's just like your own teeth. I eat corn on the cob, I eat steak, and Wanda and Dave and Tara was my personal person in there. They're awesome people in there.
Dental Creations on the square in Harrison, next to the Big Red Boot.
2012-73, State of Arkansas versus William Warren. Mr. Carter, do you know anything about about Mr. Warren's case at this point?
A little bit, Judge. It's a hot check case that's been pending for 4 years. He is represented by Philip Moon. I talked to Philip just briefly about him. He was ordered to appear in front of Judge Putman, and he failed to do so, and the judge issued a warrant.
Well, there's multiple failures to appear. It appears that going back a very lengthy time, how does he now? Maybe this. How does he now come to be in custody? Because there's nothing in the file that indicates he was served with a warrant.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Back in the case, what you call it, and the agreement was with the district attorney. Everything got paid off. It was dismissed, and then I got medical issues in my back, which I should have a letter that states that I couldn't travel that far. Then another warrant was reissued. Jim Campbell come pick me up in Greenwood, Mississippi, and it was told if I wired the court another $5,000, they let me out. They let me walk in the middle of Little Rock back home. Didn't know I had another court date, and then Philip Moon secretary got a hold of me last year, said there was another check out. I paid that off at the Kirk Court, and I sold everything I had to pay that off. Again, this was a contract company with 2 other owners, and being able to sign on the checkbook. They got me with all the bad checks when the other 2 owners didn't put the money in the bank. And it's just been a long drawn out affair since then. And I actually come to appear in court last year because I sold everything I had to pay all this off. And that was the last stuff. And then they extradited me over 3 states from Jackson, Mississippi here in the last 45 days. So, and I've yet failed to talk to Mr. Moon, and I've yet failed to be issued or any paperwork or anything saying that I'm even booked in any kind of, I don't have any paperwork, I'm even here.
Have you requested to talk to Mr. Moon?
I called his office and left a message for his secretary, and I have yet to speak to Mr. Moon. My wife spoke to him and said that he told her that I was supposed to be in court, that all this should be dismissed, even though everything's paid, and I should have to pay court costs. I mean, that's 3 years from my wife. That's all I know.
So, Mr. Carter, do you know any of this history he's just related?
Judge, vaguely, I do know, Judge.
I mean, all of this was on Judge Putman's docket. That may be why we don't know anything about it. It may have been handled on Judge Putman's docket. At this point, there isn't even documentation in the file that suggests that the warrant that Judge Putman's issued had been served, or what comes to place him in jail at this point. He's saying he was extradited out of Mississippi. Do your records show anything about that?
Jim, did you put him in jail?
No. Well, the warrant did.
Oh.
The warrant put him in jail. Pretty well what he was saying is pretty well right, but he missed court and he's supposed to be here, so we got another warrant for him in Mississippi. And they looked for him down there, and he left work or something. Anyway, he wasn't home, he left work, and then they finally picked him up. But Judge Putnam is the one that knows most of the stuff through me and Moon. He's pretty well telling what happened, but there's some more stuff there somewhere.
All right. Well, this court's going to set this down, Mr. Warren, down for a reappearance on May 6th in front of Judge Putnam. I think we ought to contact. I'm going to ask that we contact Philip Moon when we get a chance, and I'll call him. Or let's get hold of him and see if he's had any contact with this individual. I really don't want to leave him sitting in jail another week if there's, if he's eligible for having the case dismissed and released. But there's nothing in the documentation that's in this file that tells me that. So.
Judge, Mr. Moon was in an all-day trial yesterday, and the trial is spilled over to today, so he's in trial in Marion County. I do know that he and Mr. Bradford did talk briefly about this fellow Wednesday, I believe. I don't think it was yesterday.
Okay. Well, maybe we need to get hold of Wes about what the status is then. Yes, sir?
As far as I know, everything, the clerk of court's office and everything to the court, and everything is paid in full. Well,
I've just reviewed the entire case file, and there's nothing in it that says that. So, yes, I'm at this point, I'm going to leave you where you are. I'm ordering that you, if nothing else happens, that you be brought to appear before Judge Putnam next Friday. But in the meantime, we're going to take a proactive approach and try to get hold of Mr. Moon and the prosecutor on the case and those kind of things, and see if we can't get some action going. Because if what you're saying is true, I certainly want you to have the benefit of being released. But I don't have any basis to before me to release it other than what you're saying. So
the clerk of court told me that on the phone herself last year, and my wife this year. If you talk to her,
well, I really need to hear it from a judge, but not the clerk of court. I don't mean to demean her authority in any way, but that'll take a judge to decide that. So we'll need to be in touch with Judge Putnam about it, and or the attorneys who are working on your case. So at this time, you may be excused.
Crystal clear mountain streams, river rapids, and rolling hills with endless valleys. The beauty of the Ozarks we often take for granted. At Magnus Toyota, we never underestimate the value of our customers. As a third-generation family-owned business, Magnus Toyota has been operating here in the Ozarks for over 50 years. When we make a new deal, we make a new friend. Stop in and visit us today and see why our customers say we're the best. Magnus Toyota, your hometown Toyota dealer on Highway 65 North in Harrison.
Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
Introducing two new families of ATVs from Yamaha.
the all-new Grizzly and Kodiak 700. The new Grizzly offers increased power and performance to deliver more exploration and more adventure. The new Kodiak 700 features legendary Yamaha reliability for more productivity and more value. The all-new Grizzly and Kodiak 700 ATVs, all with more than ever before.
2016-85, State of Arkansas versus Rusty Lee Mahan. Now, in Mr. Mahan's case, the file reflects that on April 8th, he failed to appear and an alias warrant was issued by Judge Putman. That alias warrant was served on April 22nd. And that apparently is why Mr. Mahan is before the court today, why he's incarcerated. This case is on Judge Putman's docket. Court's going to set Mr. Mahan down to reappear May 6th in front of Judge Putman. Any other action warranted today?
Not by the defense.
All right. 2016-104, State of Arkansas versus Levi Dreyer.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dreyer, you're before the court today for arraignment on charges. Have you made any arrangements to be represented by an attorney?
Johnny Nichols. I'm going over to the office right after this, so I'm going to get that taken care of, and I'm asking to reschedule out so I can speak with him.
Okay. Well, you're here for arraignment today, which is a simple matter of entering a plea on the charge. The charges against you are possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, a Class D felony, and possession of a controlled substance, marijuana, Class A misdemeanor. On those charges, how do you now plead?
Not guilty.
I'm noting your plea of not guilty and that you're hiring all right. On the court, as I say, notes your plea of not guilty. Now, a lot of times I'm told by people standing before me that they're hiring a certain attorney, and when they get with the attorney for one reason or another, and there can be all sorts of reasons for it, that they don't make that employ. They just don't hire the person they're thinking. It's your obligation to make the arrangements to secure an attorney. If you're hiring a private attorney, the court doesn't get involved at all, and that's up to you. You get to hire whoever you want to hire. If during that process you discover you cannot afford to hire an attorney, then you're still entitled to an attorney, and one will be appointed for you. The way you secure appointed counsel is you contact the public defender's office, and normally their personnel are here on a Friday, and when we're holding this kind of court. Otherwise, their office is off the northeast corner of the square in the 3-story old federal building. Their office is in that building, and you can contact them there and get an application and fill it out. And so if that becomes necessary, I just want you to know,
Thank you.
don't just if you don't hire Mr. Nichols, don't just let it go. You need to you need to have an attorney in this matter. And the court this case is on this court's docket, and so I'm going to take this advantage to this situation to enter a scheduling order. There'll be a written scheduling order. It'll be a document that looks like this, and it'll have the dates filled in for you, that you're to appear at various times in the future. The one I'm ordering is going to set this case for trial in October of 2016. I'll set it for a pretrial hearing September of 30th of 2016, and I'm setting it for a reappearance date of August 5th of 2016. All those days will be in the written scheduling order. It'll get filed in your case file, and you can look it up if you choose to do that. And you can tell Mr. Nichols when you talk to him that the court has entered a scheduling order, and he knows how to look that up at that point. Wonderful. So all I'm doing now is getting this scheduling order in place to set the dates to move your case through the system as promptly as possible. So, all right. Your next, I'm going to put you down for appearance before this court on May 13th. Check attorney status. And so, again, when you talk to Mr. Nichols, tell him that you're due to be back in court in 2 weeks for attorney status. He knows that we can arrange to not require, if it's inconvenient for you not to come back, if he knows to contact us and appear on your behalf. So that's as long as we have counsel in place on that date, that's all that's required then. All right?
Thank you.
Judge, I'm going to give Mr. Dwyer a piece of paper that may not make much sense to him, but it'll make a lot of sense if he discusses it with Mr. Nichols.
Okay. All right. Very well. You may be excused.
Thank you.
You bet.
Really, all of my life, I've had really terrible teeth. I knew that eventually I was going to have dentures. I asked around and found out that Dr. Wanda McCaskey was just an amazing person. When she said that she can help me and told me the process of how everything works, I was thrilled. Dr. Wanda McCaskey is an amazing lady. She's so much fun to be around. It was just a pleasant experience all the way around. Dental Creations on the square in Harrison, next to the Big Red Boot.
When you practice your home fire drill, make sure you stay low under the smoke. Make sure you practice home fire drills with your family.
(2016-113) State of Arkansas versus Michael Taylor.
I'm going to go.
The court's making the appointment of the Public Defender's Office to represent Mr. Taylor. He's for arraignment today for possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, Class D felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, a separate Class D felony, carrying a weapon, an unclassified misdemeanor, driving while license suspended, an unclassified misdemeanor, all charged as an habitual offender. On those charges, how does Mr. Taylor plead?
Waive formal reading of the charge, enter a plea of not guilty.
All right. This case is on the Division 3 docket of Judge Putman. I'm ordering Mr. Taylor to reappear in front of Judge Putman in a week. That'll be May 6th. He's to appear before Judge Putman. All right. You may be excused. You may be excused. Now stay in touch with your attorney. You have the appointed counsels. Make sure you stay in touch with them. Don't make them track you down. All right?
Your attorney's going to be Dan Hancock. Nope.
I was looking at Justin Dunham. I talked to him, so maybe he can be quite extensive.
If you're going to get Mr. Downham, you need to.
Well, I thought it was it's not that we're looking.
Okay. Obviously you're entitled to hire private counsel, but just let us know if you do that. But otherwise, the public defender's been appointed for you. 2016-121, State of Arkansas versus Kathleen Covey. Has the public defender's office already been employed in this or appointed in this?
Judge, it looks like Judge Putnam's signed our user fee, but I'm going to court the affidavit.
All right. All right. Court will make the appointment of the public defender's office. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
On the charges against Ms. Covey of possession with controlled substance oxycodone, a Class D felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class A misdemeanor. On those charges, how does she now plead?
Waive formal reading of the charge, enter a plea of not guilty.
All right. All right. This matter is on Judge Putman's docket, and the court's going to set her down for a reappearance on May 5th, a week from today, in front of Judge Putman.
Your Honor, my client's son is having surgery in Little Rock that day. Can we
Let's move it then. I said May 5th. It should have been May 6th, but now that we're changing it, that doesn't matter. We'll put it down for May 20th. Reappearance May 20th?
Yes.
All right.
We have no way of getting in contact with you. I need you to fill this out. You gave her this? Okay. Okay, listen to me. Did you fill this out and give it to her? Okay. So you must fill this out, and that's what we have to have. Okay? Before you leave, please fill that out.
March 22nd. That's the arrest date. 2016-123, State of Arkansas versus Travis Methvin. Mr. Moon has entered a waiver of arraignment in this matter, so Mr. Moon will be representing him. Court's simply going to order that Mr. Methvin appear on May 6th in front of Judge Putman. Listed arrest date is April 4th, 2016. We'll see. Court will call 2016-125, State of Arkansas versus Sable Amaya.
Judge, Miss Maya's just walked into the courtroom. There is a ton of paperwork that I have provided the Public Defender's Office this morning.
Other cases under Ms. Amaya's name, we have 2016-15. It's on our pretrial list for today. 2013-102 is on our revocation case, and 2014-71 is also on our revocation list for today. So I'm calling all four of these cases up. The first matter to take up is 2016-125. The Public Defender's Office has already been appointed to represent her.
We've been appointed to represent her in 3 cases, 16-15-3, 13-1024, 1471. See a division that's also been assigned to Division 3, and I understand there's a 4th case that's pending.
Yes, this is for arraignment today. It's 2016-125 for arraignment on charges of possession of controlled substance, methamphetamine, Class D felony, and obstructing governmental operations, a Class C misdemeanor. That if you're not appointed on that, it is assigned also to Division 3 docket. And, but the point is, we need to do an arraignment today.
Mr. Hancock is her attorney. I'm just standing in for Mr. Hancock. My understanding was that there was a plea offer made for drug court that was accepted, which also would include this latest case. Is that correct, Mr. Carter?
That is correct.
If that's the situation, then all we need to do is locate the paperwork and complete the plea.
All right.
We're going to take the plea in this court or Judge Putnam's court?
This court.
Okay.
I'll look for the paperwork and we'll have Ms. Amaya go over it.
Okay. Right. We'll recall this case here in a minute.
All right. Thanks, sir.
In Court on TKO8 Television is brought to you by Campbell Bonding Company.
Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
Introducing 2 new families of ATVs from Yamaha. The all-new Grizzly and Kodiak 700. The new Grizzly offers increased power and performance to deliver more exploration and more adventure. The new Kodiak 700 features legendary Yamaha reliability for more productivity and more value. The all-new Grizzly and Kodiak 700 ATVs, all with more than ever before.
Here's another satisfied client from Dental Creations of Harrison.
That several people complain about after a year it doesn't fit, it doesn't feel right. And it's because your mouth changes. And they offer the final set of dentures. And it's just like your own teeth. I eat corn on the cob, I eat steak, and Wanda and Dave and Tara was my personal person in there. They're awesome people in there.
Dental Creations on the square in Harrison, next to the Big Red Boot.
KTKO Channel 8 Harrison, local television.